I briefly met a visitor from Ghana in 1995 when they were over for the big tercentenary parades, but I wasn't talking to him in terms of how it's organised in Ghana, so I really know almost nothing about the institution in Ghana. I just don't know what to expect. It's difficult to know what will bind them together, and I think that's, for me, one of the most interesting things to be discovered, just what makes them tick in the sense of being members of the Orange institution in Ghana.
Orangism first began in Nigeria. In 1907, the first lodge was established. Some people say that it was probably Irish missionaries that introduced the lodge as an idea into Nigeria in the first place. Other people suggest that it was in fact Orange men who were part of the British military stationed in Nigeria in the time who introduced the lodge to Nigeria. So it's quite likely that the lodge did start as a European lodge and Africans later joined. Orange men in Ghana tend to be members of churches which were first founded by missionaries. I found that the main motivation was to do with religion, an interest in studying the Bible, an interest in promoting the faith. But members also have an interest in the organisation as a fraternity.
CCK, can you tell me how many lodges there are in Ghana?
Yes, at the moment we have about 22 lodges, male and female. That is aside the junior lodges. Before you become an Orange man, a sufficient search be made about you, your person.
Yes.
We got to satisfy ourselves that you are a Protestant.
Yes.
And that you have no linkage. You are not a Catholic who
Yes.
is trying to enter into a rank.
Qatar was about 2.5 hours, 3 hours drive from Accra, and from when we left Accra until we got to Qatar, the countryside was almost completely flat. But as we came into Qatar, they met us a couple of miles outside it and took us at a road junction to visit the local MP. One of the chaps who almost the main activist in Qatar works in a local bank, and he again was a person to whom some respect was shown, but the subject transpired that he's a local chief, a clan chief.
I'm really delighted to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
It's a pleasure to be here. And are these all members of the lodge?
Yes.
I suppose what surprised me too, but a bit like the Orange Order at home, there appeared to be a broad social mix of the people who were members. And so there were some of the people who were well dressed and appeared to have a bit of money, and then there were some others that had put on their best clothes, but clearly these had been repaired and stitched many times over the years, and it was very obvious there wasn't a lot of money
Very
about.
nice to meet you. Hello. Hello. Thank you very much. Very pleased to meet you. Kofi, yeah. Very nice to meet you, Kofi.
Yeah.
Have you got an election coming up?
Yes.
Guinness, internationally recognized.
So how is the Irish society coping with your drum cree matches?
Yeah. It's been quite peaceful for about the last 3 or 4 years.
Okay.
But the situation is still not resolved. There's still a standoff.
I was slightly surprised, yes, I didn't expect it, but it's something that we would be asked about a lot when we're abroad.
It shows you the international attention there is on creating issues at home.
It shows you the power of the internet.
Political reasons.
One of my uncles was also a member of the Orange Order, so I knew that they have an order. in the area.
And the red hand of Ulster carrying a sword, which has symbolic meaning for us in our ritual.
Yeah. As a parliamentarian, the numbers count. So, as much as I'm able to work with, variety of groups, then I think I'm building my my electoral base. Yes.
I do hope that you'll find some time or some occasion to be able to wear them.
I'm wearing it this weekend.
The next morning we were up at about 5 o'clock, left the hotel at 6, and this was to go and visit a slightly outlying lodge. It was about an hour and a half, 2 hours drive away in a town called Anyako. Very extreme poverty. I mean, I imagine in that town, in fact I just can't recall if there was any electricity at all. There may have been some in the houses. I mean, I imagine almost no one had a bank account. There were no cars that I saw. Subsistence fishing rather than farming, and just no shops. I don't recall I saw any shops on it at all. What does this say?
Donated to Heroes of Tarso,
Yes.
LOL, Royal Orange, by Worthy Master CYT.
Yep. And Heroes of Tarso,
Yeah.
That's the lodge in this town?
Yeah.
That's the name
In
of the
this
lodge?
town,
Yep.
yeah.
Okay.
Main Lodge.
That's the men's lodge?
Yeah.
And then do you also have another lodge?
Doctors of Tarso here too.
Daughters of Tarso?
Yeah, and
yes.
Heroes of Tarso. That's the juvenile.
The juvenile lodge?
Yeah.
So you have 3 lodges?
Lodges here.
A men's lodge,
Ladies Lodge.
a ladies' lodge.
And a juvenile.
Ah, right, very good.
Yeah.
Okay, that's very good. And where do you meet?
At the chapel.
In the chapel?
Yeah.
Yep, okay.
Yeah.
And is it a Methodist chapel or a
No,
Presbyterian
Presbyterian
chapel?
yeah.
Okay, very good. They don't have any cars, and it's in the Delta region where they've travelled by boats for thousands of years. And so what they did, they rented a boatman, a large boat that held about 30 people maybe. Well, I was happy enough everybody else was doing it, I was a bit concerned about the depth of the water maybe, as I went out, but it turns out this delta, there's almost no deep water in it anyway. The boat trip was meant to take about an hour and 3/4 to 2 hours, but in fact it took about 4 hours, and that's just the way it is. That's what you accept. And in Africa, I have to say, and I saw this throughout, there would not be as much emphasis on punctuality as there would be back at home.
What does the Orange Order mean to you?
The Orange Order means religiously to me is we love one another, help one another, and then see to the welfare of the church. Right now, more people are not coming. Why? Because some time ago, they blended all lodges to be not Christian. Yeah. And those who are saying those things, they are